Hi everyone, DStecks here with a mini review of the epilogue of Sonichu episode 16. There's quite a bit to talk about here, but I didn't want Bad Reviews 15 to run over long. I also made a bit of an oopsie in discussing it in BR 15, but I'll cover that when we get to it. The epilogue begins with a splash page advertisement for K-Quick, Quickville's only radio station and professional wrestler. And apparently, since it's the only station in town, it needs to play every kind of music. Literally, every kind of music. Tune in every day to Station K-Quick for everything. All the great song types, from classic to jazz to country to pop to heavy metal, even jugs/kazoos/washboards. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a clusterfuck to me. I can't think of a single person who would actually want to listen to all of that, no matter how eclectic their tastes. This station advertises classical music and heavy metal. And keep in mind, this would be Chris Chan's idea of heavy metal, so what we're probably talking about is Beethoven segueing directly into Limp Bizkit. Chris probably imagines that the station will appeal to absolutely everyone, but the thing about music is that trying to do that will appeal to exactly nobody. If you're playing all the genres, you're gonna be playing something that someone listening cannot stand. It also means it's completely impossible to predict what will be on the radio at any given time. Imagine a station like this being played at your workplace or in a store. It would drive people nuts. K-Quick is DJ'd by Jamsta Sonichu and his number one woman, Loliza Rosachu. Jamsta Sonichu is a 1990s marketing executive's idea of a cool DJ, and Loliza has no purpose but to confirm his heterosexuality. Hey there, all ya guys, gals, and dudes and dudettes of all ages. You are rockin' and keepin' it real at Station K-Quick with yours truly, Jamsta Sonichu, DJ of every hour with da power. On top of da hour, we reign playing outside power with sunny skies and autumn Thames at a frisky 68 degrees. Sonichu and Rosachu fanbase is on the rise to beyond the max thousands. Nintendo and Sega have stamped and digital mail weighing in on their laps to talk to Quickville's mayor and original founder, Christian Weston Chandler. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Chris actually attempted to contact Sega and Nintendo to create a Sonic Pokemon crossover, so that Sonichu could become a real thing. That is a thing that Chris thought would happen. And on the spot here, we have visiting the studio today, the new bubblegum pop sensation, Jigglyami, and her cute manager, Blanca, talking about her new hit single. Yeah. In Bad Reviews 15, I incorrectly identified the woman here as Ivy. This is Blanca, the first troll girlfriend. Blanca wasn't an alter ego, but rather a persona created by a group of trolls in order to steal the Sonichu medallion. They eventually succeeded, but that's not really why they're interesting. What they did was establish a pattern of trolling, by proving that Chris became intensely gullible when he thought he was dealing with a woman. So, how does this affect the comic? Well, because Chris's schedule for drawing the comic was so slipshod, entire trolling sagas would occur during the writing of a single comic, but Chris would continue writing new pages to be current to his life. So, girlfriend characters will soon begin to waft in and out of the comic, be professed as Christian's one true love forever, and then disappear without warning. Only one actually gets written out, and the way Chris does so is so batshit and out of the blue that I won't dare spoil it for you. Jigglyami talks about her upcoming spring break concert at the Quickville Beach, which we get to see in Sonichu issue 8. Now, if you remember all the way back to Sonichu issue 1, you'll remember that Quickville does not have a beach. We also learn that she signed with Capitol fucking Records. Am I the only one who finds it weird that Chris didn't create a Quick Records label here? It's just so weird to get a random flash of the outside world in the cultural enclave that is Quickville. I don't know how many times I've said this now, but the next page is one of the dumbest in all of Sonichu. Jigglyami and Blanca start discussing the specifics of the band, and Jigglyami says this: I sing lead vocals with Blanca backing me up on lead Guitar Hero. Lest you think that's some kind of cutesy quickism, no, Blanca literally stands on stage and plays Guitar Hero, as she explains in one of the most batshit sentences in all of Sonichu. Yeah, while Jigglyami sang on SingStar, I would play my axe on the Wii, getting the high scores scored better, real play, for my benefit. Let's set aside that the second half of that sentence was just complete fucking gibberish. Blanca says that Jigglyami does SingStar, which is another Wii music game. Even imagining a world in which a crowd of people will pay to watch two people stand on stage and play music games instead of, instruments. They're claiming to be playing two completely different games here. Even assuming they put their own music into both games, getting them synced up together would be insanely difficult, especially live. And yeah, that's the part that's rubbing me the wrong way about Chris thinking that a Guitar Hero controller is a real musical instrument. Ultimately, this whole tangent is just so Chris can claim to have real musical ability because he's decent at Guitar Hero. That's what Blanca's nonsense about real play for my benefit was about. Chris is trying to justify himself to nobody in particular. On the next page, Jamsta brings things back to what's really important. Well, I just can't help but admire how gorgeous you both are. Well, thank you, Jigglyami replies. I couldn't look this hot without the makeover advice from my awesomely kind advisor. Smiley face, even though she's actually winking in the art. Actually, wait, take a look at that. Jigglyami has conjoined Sonic-style eyes, and Chris couldn't figure out how to make a wink work for eyes like that, so you just get this fucked up weirdness where there's this exposed middle strip of cornea. So, is there just no eyelid covering the middle bit? Also, Jigglyami's left iris appears to be passing behind the middle strip of flesh, which would seem to indicate that her eyes are actually a single huge eye with two irises and pupils, kind of like in that freaky Sonic fan art. Jamsta turns things over to Lolisa. Thank you, Jamsta, and good job keeping yourself and your eyes off your guest star's snowballs. They were the last pair from the vending machine. Huh? What? Was that a boob joke? Because there were no snow cones at any point, and those don't come from vending machines anyway. It was a boob joke, right? On the next page, Lolisa interviews Sonichu's #1 fan, the Cheapskate. So are we breaking the fourth wall here? Actually, did the fourth wall ever exist? Also, I have no idea why, but Lolisa's skirt has been very poorly digitally recolored. I'm not sure why. And the images I'm working with are the originals as he uploaded them to the internet. You can see the unretouched original in this screen cap from Chris's video books of the comic, and it just looks like a darker shade of purple. It's not great video quality, but I can't make out anything strange or wrong that would require editing. I am in the second booth of our station with a well-proven top Sonichu and Rosachu fan, says Lolisa, a well-educated high school graduate at 22. Generally that's not really something to brag about, unless you're Ricky.
Fuck off, I got work to do.
Have fun getting a job since you kicked out of grade 10, you fucking dummy.
He's single, ladies. I am talking to Mr. Robert Simmons V, aka Sonichu Fan 1985. Oh man, what lady wouldn't want to get with Sonichu Fan 1985? He's got his grade 12 and some kind of jump rope, I think. The climax of the epilogue is an entire goddamn page of text. But hey, this is a special mini-review, so I can take my time and go through it bit by bit, instead of mercifully skipping over it like I usually do. Judging by the existence of two Lolisa arms with microphones, this text wall takes place in a literal formless void, with no inconvenient scenery or visually conveyed information to detract from gobs of text about how great Chris is. So, tell me, Bob, how did you create the top fan status for yourself? Well, I took control of 80% of its de jure territory, then spent 600 gold and 400 piety. No, actually what Robert says is a lot stupider. Well, after having read all of Chris's original Sonichu comic books from his original and official Sonichu and Rosachu site, I have become inspired. So, I've carved my place by recording a few YouTube videos in tribute to him and his electric hedgehogs. What the hell? This motherfucker makes a couple YouTube videos and gets a cameo in the comic? I've been at this for nearly 5 fucking years, and all I got was this fucking picture. Even spelled my name wrong. He put a period in it, like it's a Java method or something. Of course, if anybody would write a Java method called DStecks, they probably need a fucking slap on the mouth. What advice have you taken from Chris's wide wisdom that has benefited you?
Now, stroking the hair of said pony is very relaxing and therapeutic, and also rubbing it against your cheek. That's nice.
I understand that you two have similar yet possibly mimicked traits. I have no idea what similar yet possibly mimicked is supposed to mean, but we'll just go with it. Yes, he and I are both desperate for a woman to secure our individual futures, and that neither of us actually got laid yet. You know what really gets the ladies hot? What drops the panties every time? Shameless desperation. Also, it is more than a little funny that the sentence starts in 100% full autism mode, then switches to actual English in the last line. It's almost a joke, almost reminiscent of some of the dialogue in the Grand Budapest Hotel, except actually not a joke at all. Anyway, Chris's wisdom. He was correct on therapy of yourself with something feminine and furry from a toy. Holy shit, I was joking about the future message reference, and that's actually what they were talking about? I swear to you, I wrote that joke before I read this part of the comic. I have no way to prove that to you, but it would be a pretty pathetic thing to lie about. My Furby, Michelle, relieves some of my stress at home until the day I get lucky for myself. Did he just imply that he fucks his Furby? Also, using Axe body spray does arouse the women within close range. Yeah, sure. I can tell, says Lolisa. You smell good. Yeah, sure. You and he look almost identical, and I personally know that Chris is cute, caring, and a good man who will put his closest friends first. Man, Chris has the right idea. All this time, I've been making up dumb shit about myself, making myself look like a fucked up loser with an anime waifu, when I could have made up good shit like Chris here. I could have been portraying myself as an astronaut, or a Jonas brother. Oh shit. Can we hold on that pic for a second? Holy fuck. I am sexy. Why do you feel is the reason you haven't found the right woman yet? Asks Lolisa, rightfully wondering why he hasn't gotten laid if indeed Axe works like he claims. Yes, replies Robert, that big pondering. Well, in addition to the proven fact of the infinitely high boyfriend fact... Okay, no, fuck this, I'm done. This review, it's over. I'm gonna be playing Mordor if anybody needs me. No, I'm done. No, I don't want to do it. No, shit, no. I have found women very beautiful, yet they can be very frightening due to their surprising emotions and mood. No, seriously, I'm done. Fuck Sonichu, fuck Chris Chan. Somebody get me a Kia Hash, those Nick Jonas pics, and a Harvey Wallbanger. I'm done.
My brain is plastic, sugar-coated magic, twisted
And most importantly, please stay straight.